Thank you very much for asking me to talk on parenthood in relation to the child. And of course, parents are the child's first teachers. In fact, not even from the time the baby takes birth, but even when the child is in the womb. How the parents behave, and after all, example is our best teacher, how the parents behave is sort of sieved into the child even before birth. And this has not only been proved scientifically nowadays by the scientists, but in the Hindu scriptures thousands of years ago, when Prahlada was in the womb, when his mother, who was a very beautiful soul, used to say the prayers, and how wonderfully powerful are prayers, the child used to respond in the womb. It was very sweet. You actually heard the little voice responding. Now, some modern people will think this is ridiculous, but it's not. It's absolutely true. How the parents behave before the child is born, how lovingly they react towards each other, is emotionally taken into the child before it is born. If the parents have a terrible fight, that child in the womb feels it, because inside the womb there is all knowledge. A child, whilst in the womb, the little fetus, knows everything. It is just, as Swamiji said a moment ago, it has come from that heavenly place, and it's got all the knowledge within it of that heavenly place, plus of all the experiences it has ever had. It has complete knowledge. What happens when the baby is born? That knowledge is wiped out completely. Even great Rama forgot whom he was until he was reminded. Only Krishna actually remembered. In the womb, when he was born, all the way through, he knew he was God incarnate. So just imagine, even if Rama had to be reminded, how difficult it is for us to tune in to that heavenly place from which we came after we were born. So the parents are the first teachers. How the parents behave, how they lovingly behave towards each other, that is very important. So right from the word go, perhaps as Swamiji used to say, the mother is the first guru. The mother is the first one who teaches the child by the way she behaves to the child. I have seen some of our friends when the baby was very young. I remember observing how lovingly the mother put the nappy on the child. With such care and such awareness, it was so beautiful. That child would feel that. If the child wasn't dumped down and pushed around like they do in the nursing homes, which is quite shocking, how they behave to the little children. They behave as if they're not human. Some people who aren't actually looking after the child out of love, but because it's a job. The mother looks after the child out of love. Now, this doesn't mean to say, of course, that because you love your child very dearly, that you give in to their every whim. That would also be not right. That would not be a sign of love. That would be weakness. So love is not weakness. Love sometimes has to be very strong. And I can only remember sort of examples of my own mother, who was very strong actually, but also very loving. And I can remember sometimes when she would not let me have what I wanted. And I was a person who liked everything. I wanted everything. I was that sort of child. Go-getter and pusher and everything else, you see. Funnily enough, I've read recently, I thought being a pusher was a terrible thing. But Swami Shivananda, in one of his talks, said, we must be pushers. There's always a different way of looking at it. If you're not a pushers and you stand back, you miss an opportunity for life. Even if you make a mistake, it's better to actually go ahead and do something that you have the urge to do. And if you make a mistake, well, you learn from that. So even if a child makes a mistake innocently, that has a repercussion, and that child will pay for it. And it seems unfair, but Mother Nature is really not unfair. Mother Nature is the best mother out, because the Mother Nature never gives in to every whim that we have, her creation. She is sometimes pretty tough, But in that so doing, if a child, for example, does something, you think, oh, poor child, doesn't know any better. Maybe it didn't know any better. But if the child is punished afterwards, not from the mother necessarily, but from life itself, then the child will remember. It will experience what it has done to somebody else and think that wasn't nice, was it? And it would not want to do that to somebody else. So life actually experiences us. Admittedly, the mother and the father have a very important role to play in guiding. And what many parents, even to this day, in this so-called enlightened life when people discuss things and all that, still you get some parents who insist upon the child to become a scientist or a doctor when the child wants to become an artist. I know even a fact of somebody I know quite well now who insisted that the child takes up science, failed everything, so he was looked upon as a dropout and a no-gooder. And the other child was praised because he was scientifically minded and he was doing well. The child wanted to do music. So it is very important that we tune in to the child. They are, after all, they don't actually belong to us. They're just given to us on loan, as Khalil Gibran wrote so beautifully. So each child has got its own past, has got its own talents, and the parent should see which way that child wants to go. What is that child's path in life? What would make that child happy? What is that child happy doing? If a person isn't happy doing a certain subject or being forced into it, they will not be able to learn. But if you see something that the child really enjoys doing, then you encourage it to do that. As I came in, I saw our little children, whom I'm very fond of, in the little room there. I mean, they seemed to be sitting all on their own, but they weren't misbehaving and chatting and guffawing and all that. They were busy, very busy doing things and very, very happy because they were doing what they loved doing. And I think this is where the idea for the school that Maitri has is so wonderful.